Hey crafters, it's Louise with you today on behalf of Kitaholic Kits, and I'm just sneaking in my final layout for the September 2019 kits, and I've titled this page Love This Life, inspired by that little blue tag. So as I'm starting to get towards the end of my kits, I'm thinking outside the box because I haven't got much left to play along with. This is about my 10th or 11th layout this month, so it does really start to challenge your creativity when you're working with minimal supplies. So I'm just first of all taking a very random photo. It's not one of those photos that's particularly special, it's more like an everyday life photo, and I want to document this photo because it has that everyday life element, and I think because it's not a special image as such, I feel like I have a bit more freedom when I'm creating. So there's not as much pressure to actually create the perfect, most beautiful page to record the memory. This is what's in my head anyway, the pressures we put on ourselves. So I'm starting with this circular cut file, and I decide that I'm just going to fill it in with this floral navy blue kind of paper. You can also see that I've got the outside frame on some white cardstock in the background, and that's left over from one of the live videos that I created a couple of Fridays ago. So if you haven't checked out the live, pop on over to Facebook because you can see how I actually made that live scrapbook layout. Okay, so back to what we're doing now. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there for a second. As you can see, I'm just mounting the photo. I've put a little bit of cardboard there, and I'm using the packaging that some of this month's collection came in. So don't forget to keep your packaging because it really is great to put in layers in the backgrounds and things like that. Now, I didn't go into this with the idea of actually having the photo off to the left and the cut file in the middle and then the tag off to the side. It sort of just developed as I was playing around with the elements I had available to me. And then I love the sort of foil flowers, sorry, trying to get my words out, the foil flowers. So I've got the little gold ones down the bottom, and then I go into my kit and I've got the sort of more brighter flowers there as well. So it's at this point where I think, okay, I really like how this looks on the background. So off camera, I've gone ahead and stuck everything down and added some foam in the background, and it's at this point I start to think about mixed media in the background. So I don't do a huge amount of mixed media, but I just like to add a little bit of colour and a little bit of texture into my background. So I'm using one of this month's stencils, which is a Vicky Bouton honeycomb stencil, and I'm just adding a little bit of paste at the top and bottom of the cluster that I've got going on. I'm going to let that dry naturally, and then I'm going to come back with my colour Shimmer Dusts in Lush. So I've just activated the one that I've got in my little palette there, and using a brush and some water, I put some water down over the paste first and then add the colour to the depth that I desire. Now the reason I went with green is because the florals I wanted them to dominate, so I could have used like the purples or the navies or any of the other sort of orange yellow kind of colour that was in those florals. But I decided that the green would really pop off the background and sort of blend in more like, not necessarily grass, but more like leaves. So that's why I went with green. And I really like how this background looks. I actually really love this page itself. I think because it's so different from me and it came together so easily, it's really just caught my eye and my attention. So I love how this one turned out. A couple of the enamel dots to finish this page off. I'm going to glue everything off camera and then you'll see the finished product. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you haven't already, hit the little subscribe button and make sure you've checked out Kitaholic Kits.